Hi guys, it's Brother Paul here. Hope everyone is well. It's Sunday today, August 12th, 2022. And I want to share I had back on the 9th, a dream I had back on the 9th. And I wanted to share it on that day following the one I put out that day. But I just ran out of time with too much family around. So back home now, last day of holidays, I figured I'd share it. So here we go. I'll go right into the dream. I was walking down a flood dike. Where I live, there's these man-made dikes all around the city that used to deal with flooding problems back in the 1950s, but currently today they're just around neighborhoods now, and most of the new people don't even know what they're for. So in this dream, I was walking down one of those dikes, which I saw very often in my childhood in my area where I grew up. And while I was walking down this dike, which in my neighborhood is behind a church, and I saw a woman. So I asked the woman, I asked if she needed any help, because this woman was in the water. And she said I needed to remove, I jumped ahead of this part. So when I was walking down the dike, this woman was sitting on a blanket with a radio. And when I had approached her, I just said, hey, how's it going? Like, is there anything you need? And she asked me if she needed help to remove this blanket and the radio. And she said it was falling in the mud. So when I looked, the mud on this dike was like moving towards the marshes and the water. So I asked this woman, what are you doing out here? And she's like, I'm trying to catch fish. So I asked her what the problem was, and she said she couldn't find the fish or see the ducks that were in the marshes. And when I looked out, I didn't see them either. So I started to laugh a little bit, and I explained to her that the night before I had watched a show about how to feed fish. I reached down and I started ripping the grass on the topsoil of this dike in the mud, and I was throwing it in the water. And immediately when I threw this grass in the water, you saw the rippling on the top of the water, like the fish started moving and they were coming in to feed. Okay, where was I here? And I started to see all the water moving, and the fish were jumping, and they were coming to eat what I had thrown in the water. Next, what happened kind of surprised me, because the ducks started to move within the mud. They were in the mud, and they started resurfacing out of the mud to the top of the water on the marshes. All the ducks started to line up in a row, all of them. And I continued to throw grass over and over again in the water. And the thing that was interesting, in the mud started to turn to clay. And all of the fish that were coming in all directions were coming to eat what I was throwing in. All the fish were coming for the food, and they really needed it, and all the ducks were lined up now, all of them. The more I did this, the more the woman got more stressed out and warned me that the mud was becoming clay. Water was mixing up with clay. So then the scene changed right then and there. And the second part of this dream, I'm at my parents' home, and I entered into the house, and I noticed there was a man standing there, and I didn't know him. And he knew me, and he said he remembered me from the one I used to work for, when I used to work for the non-emergency, the emergency department that I used to drive patients around. I told him I was there to wash my boots because they were full of mud and clay from where I had just been. I looked down to realize that I was walking on white carpet in these muddy boots, and just as this happened, my older brother walked into the house with filthy boots, and I noticed he noticed my boots were filthy. Now, to set this up is, I have an older brother who took care of my mother until she was placed in a nursing home. So he actually has my old parents' house now. So In this dream, when I went there, when I say my parents' house, my brother lives there. So he looked at my feet and he saw how dirty the boots were. I told him I'd only be a few minutes. I'll wash them in the tub, like the bathtub. That's when he told me he had unhooked all the plumbing and he wouldn't be able to clean them. I wouldn't be able to clean them. That's when I realized the filthiness that we need to clean off from us. It's not a physical condition. So that's the end of the second dream. So I had a bit of time to ask God about this. So the dike represents the mound and the filth of the world. The fish are the believers coming to feed on anything that's the word of God. And the ducks lining up is that prophecy, and everything of prophecy is coming in order now. Like everything's lining up just like the ducks. And the second part of the dream, we try to wipe off the filth in a physical way, but Ephesians 6:12 tells us we're not fighting a physical battle, we're fighting a spiritual battle. So I really enjoyed sharing all these dreams that I had during my holidays, and I'll do my best to continue, because you have no idea how many more I wanted to put out and I didn't get a chance. So I hope you receive this dream. I hope you receive the discernment to understand what I'm saying. And the Lord wants you to know, look up. Look up, guys. Keep watching. Keep praying. Stay in the Word. The Lord is coming soon. Bye, guys.